You thought it was canceled, but it's not. Hello, everybody. It's the Almighty Duff here, back with the Cartoon Vlog, with the high anticipated review of Sheep in the Big City. I have been waiting to do this review, but a lot of stuff has been going on lately. If you guys know that I had to take my finals for ninth grade, and it was rough, but I made it. And I was also did the Finding Dory review and all that, but I'm back, people. The Almighty Duff is back. So we're gonna be talking about Sheep in the Big City, and without further ado, let's start off with the back. Okay, Sheep in the Big City is created by Mo Willems. Back before when Sheep in the Big City was created, Mo Willems worked for Nickelodeon. He created a bunch of standalone shorts that would be later produced for its sketch comedy Kablam, called The Offbeats. And The Offbeats were about Betty Ann Bongo, who is the leader of The Offbeats, Tommy, who is basically the person who goes temporarily insane, Rapunzel, the youngest of the group, August, technologically the smartest, September, the sarcastic one, and Grubby Grow, the adult or the more responsible one of the group. And yeah, so this was basically its background knowledge for Sheep in the Big City. Mo Willems also worked for Curious Pictures, a company that would later produce other cartoons like Codename Kids Next Door, which I will be talking about soon on the channel, as well as Team Umizoomi, NFL Rush Zone, and A Little Curious. And now my thoughts on Sheep in the Big City and also the plot. First, let's start with the plot. Sheep in the Big City is about Sheep who moves from a farm and later goes into the city, but is being stalked or being chased by General Specific to get Sheep's intelligence for his machines. And that's the story. Now let's go into my thoughts. Sheep in the Big City is very, very unusual. I say that in a very bad way. And because they show segments, I'm sorry, it's very unusual for me to talk about this show, but it's very unusual that they show like segments that doesn't even connect to the plot. I know Family Guy does that, but at least it's used for purpose and actually has the characters in the show. While in some of the cutaway gags for Sheep in the Big City, it really doesn't make sense. And sometimes they do fake commercials, which I don't know. It's like very unusual. And yeah, basically that's my thoughts. Like, I can't even think of anything good about Sheep in the Big City besides like the names. Yeah, I actually like the names. Yeah, so like I said, there's like very unusual characters in Sheep in the Big City. There's Sheep, of course. I mean, who else would you name your main character besides? Yeah. So, and there's also General Specific. He's the guy who's trying to get Sheep's intelligence or something to get, like, so he can take over his body, something like that. There's also Farmer John, who is Sheep's original owner, and like General Specific, he's also planning on capturing him as well. There's also Private Public, who is General Specific's minion, the Angry Scientist, who's an angry scientist. Yeah, these names are very hilarious. Then I'm gonna talk about characters, people. Like I said, but the names are cool. But the characters, what can I say about these characters? Let's start with Sheep. Sheep is basically Courage of the show. He's Courage the Cowardly Dog of Sheep in the Big City. And I'm serious. He's literally Courage the Cowardly Dog. There's similarities. They're animals that are very cowardly, but at least Sheep knows when to be scared. They are both of them barely speak in their shows about them, but sometimes can have a little vocal line. And third, their owners are very oblivious on what's happening around them, and it's up to the pets to save them. Sheep is Courage. There's no contest. I think, yes, he's exactly like Courage. We get General Specific, who is the leader of the secret military organization. Like I said, he always tries to capture sheep just so he can use it for his ray gun, and every time he fails and fails and fails. And I say that because he is basically a moron. Farmer John takes on the role as Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog. They care for their pets, and they're oblivious on what's happening around them. But they always know good. Yeah, it's very unusual. Then, I haven't talked about this character yet. We get Swanky the Poodle, who is Sheep's love interest, and Sheep always tries to win her heart. Now, that's the difference between Sheep and Courage. Sheep actually has a love interest, while Courage doesn't. And finally, Private Public and the Angry Scientist. These are two characters I find actually decent. Besides Sheep just being Courage, these two characters are actually different. If you could say that the Angry Scientist is a little like Le Quack from from Courage the Cowardly Dog. See? It's very unusual. I'm starting to get these shows mixed up. So yeah. Those are my thoughts on the characters for Sheep in the Big City. Basically, what is the legacy for the show? I'll tell you. Now for the legacy. Okay, basically, Sheep in the Big City is one of the few cartoons that were forgotten by many people. And it really didn't have a legacy going. But the only legacy that I kind of had is that Sheep and Swanky, I don't know how to pronounce that poodle's name, appeared as playable characters in the Mario Kart clone Cartoon Network Speedway, where Sheep is the default character and Swanky or Swanky is an unlockable character. So guys, that's my review on Sheep of the Big City. It's very unusual in a very bad way. I'm giving this show a 5 out of 10. Because the only good things I found was the names were kind of funny and creative. I didn't talk about the animation, but animation is very stylized, and as well, this is the highest rated Cartoon Network premiere of all time. Yeah, Sheep in the Big City was one of the most hyped up series premieres of Cartoon Network. So yeah, next up, guys, we're going to be talking about Time Squad. So, like this video, share, subscribe, and this is the Almighty DF.